Athletics with your host, Andy Graham, Brett Pritchard, Randy Lee, War Eagle.
Hello, everybody, and welcome into the Monday edition of the Auburn Blitz. Brett Pritchard and Jim Hardy here with you for your lunch hour, and we're glad that you've joined us wherever it is that you are tuning us in. Today, program brought to you by Russell Do It Center and Building Supply Stores, J.A. Smith Construction and Excavation in Central Alabama Community College. You can call us 256-234-6221 to be part of the program. As always, you can also dial us up on the Facebook page there and comment away. A lot of you do that throughout our programs, and we appreciate it. Get that interaction from you, and a lot to talk about. Unfortunately, Auburn capped off not a very good week after they get inside the top 10 in college basketball. They drop another one. They dropped two in a row now after being the only undefeated team midweek last week in the SEC. Auburn now 16-4, 5-2. On the year in the SEC, as they lost to Mississippi State 64-58. We'll talk about that game. We'll talk about the SEC standings now that we're basically a third of the way through the SEC schedule, kind of what the next 5 or 6 games look like for the Auburn Tigers. They have Vanderbilt coming in on Wednesday night. Should be one that the Tigers can rebound and get back on track. Then they have 2 very tough matchups, one on the road at Ole Miss, and then Alabama comes calling in 2 weeks on Wednesday night. But we'll talk about that. We'll get some Bruce Pearl comments. We'll get your comments out there. What did you think about Auburn? Just has not looked good, Jim, the last couple of games offensively. Just can't seem to get in rhythm, can't seem to get any kind of continuity going. Defense has been stellar still. I mean, I think they held Alabama to 8 to 10 points below their season average. Alabama scored over 100, I think, 5 times this year. So they're a very good offensive team. Auburn held them down. They held Mississippi State to 64. I mean, usually if you're in college basketball, you're holding teams to 65 to 70 points. You got a really good chance to win the games. But right now, offensively, this team's sputtering.
Yeah, and I think the thing that everybody should note, too, as well, is both those games are on the road. So that offense has got to get used to being in somebody else's gym shooting a basketball. Because this tournament they're going to play in March, they better be ready because it ain't going to be at Jordan Hare or at
well, I mean, that's the thing. It's not, again, Auburn away from home in about every sport right now is below mediocre. I mean, I don't really know why. I mean, I know it's tough to win on the road anytime you go on the road in this league anywhere. But, Jim, used to be in football especially, Auburn went on the road, you liked your chances. I mean, it didn't matter who you were playing, where you were playing. Now you just kind of feel like you got to go on the road and steal something. And in basketball, we've won more than our fair share on the road under Bruce Pearl the last 4 or 5 years. But then you look over and the reason Auburn's so successful year in and year out is because we're able to win 95% of our games at home. And, that's what you got to do to be successful in this league. But Mississippi State was not a world-beater team. Obviously, they have a couple of good players. That was their 3rd win in conference. They did beat Tennessee earlier in the year at home, so you need to take them serious. Right now, guard play for Auburn is where they're failing. They just cannot seem to get anybody to kind of step up and take the mantle there. And Jalen Williams maybe played 2 of his worst games of the year the last couple of games, and it showed. Not a cut on Jalen. He's a tremendous player. I'm glad we have him back this year. But, Jalen, everybody's personality is different, Jim. Mm-hmm. And he's not a alpha dog, a number one, get in your face, yell at you, pat you on the back when you need some pickup. He's a solid number 2 to me. Mm-hmm. He needs a guy to me, he needs a guy ahead of him that's really the voice of the team, and he's a really solid support guy that can give you 12 to 15 points a game. Jalen's just, his personality is not conducive of him doing that, and that's not a cut on him. He's just more of an introverted type of a kid. And so if that's who you're relying on to be your leader on the floor, I think you kind of see in the personality of the team.
I think
now.
that Holloway and Donaldson, you think they could fill that role you're looking for?
Well, I think you got to have most of the time it's your guards,
right?
That are the ones. It's usually not a forward, a 3 or 4 type player. Number 3 or number 4 type player. Why isn't Janai Broome more vocal?
Right.
Janai Broome's kind of the guy that came back that everybody felt like was going to be the guy to lead this team, and he just goes missing at times. Now, he's played solid the last couple of games. I mean, I think he was 5 of 7 from the field. To me, he's not getting enough touches. He played 34 minutes, had 14 points. Bruce has kind of sung his praises, and he's kind of blamed himself for not getting the ball inside to Janai Broome a little bit more than he has. So just look at the stats real quick. Auburn 19 of 56 from the field. If you shoot 33%, you're not going to beat anybody. I don't care. The woes continue. Auburn's made 7 threes in the last 2 games. And it just is, actually, now I think they've made 9 threes in the last 2 games, but their field goal percentage from outside in SEC play is horrendous. And Auburn, if they're not up around the 8 to 9 made 3-point shot per game, they're not going to win games. This team's got to be able to shoot the ball from outside. Denver Jones has been a disappointment. Obviously, Aiden Holloway, touted 5-star guy, has struggled to score. He had 7 points against Mississippi State, but really was a non-factor. He didn't score against Alabama, had a goose egg, was 0 for 7 from the floor. Jim, I say this, and I've heard many coaches say this, and I truly believe it. Guard play wins basketball games in postseason.
No question. I mean, you revert it to another sport. A quarterback wins it in football. If that quarterback or that guard right there is not leading this team like you're talking about, if he's not stepping up and making sure people are where they're supposed to on those passes, it don't happen.
Turnovers. Actually, Mississippi State had 14 turnovers. Auburn had 11. Took care of the ball for the most part, but the thing that really is disturbing for me with this team is we're missing way too many open shots. Again, you look down at the field goal percentage. When you're shooting 33% from the field, you look at the way they played against Alabama. They had several wide-open three-pointers, had several wide-open 15-foot jump shots. And I know James is a frequent watcher of our show, and he called in last week and he said, that's the thing with him. We don't have any really pure shooters on this team that can scare you or can go get a basket when you need to. So right now, the constant last week has been Janai Broome. Bruce Pearl needs to figure out a way to get him the ball more. Let's talk about what Bruce said after the game. Then I'll get your thoughts on it, Jim. He said it was a physical. It was as physical as we thought. They're a really athletic team. Obviously, they played really good defensively, but we didn't play well. We didn't execute very well. They did a great job. Again, I think it boils down to more about what we didn't do more than what Mississippi State did. We had opportunities. Aiden Holloway had some open looks. Trey Donaldson had some open looks. Jalen Williams, the last 2 games, has looked like he's forgotten how to play. That's disturbing. He looked like he was going to be a guy that was going to carry this team. But, again, I'll go back to what I said to start the show. I don't think it's in his personality, Jim.
No.
I don't know who on this team is going to take over. And I think Bruce Pearl, he tweeted out a few hours after the game, told everybody, look, we're going to be fine. We got to go back to the drawing board on some things. But I'm trying to look on that roster. We've got a good team. I'm trying to look on the roster and see who's going to be the guy to step up and be the leader on the floor.
Yeah, my takeaways from seeing the Mississippi State game is almost looks like we had a hangover from the Alabama game.
Right.
There's an old saying, you don't let one loss turn into 2.
Correct.
And I think that's what happened. They were just dragging into this game and kind of thought, we'll just show up with Mississippi State. You didn't bring your offense.
Well, you know what? That's a cardinal sin in this league when it don't matter who you play on the road, wherever, if you don't show up each and every game. Now, on the flip side, you look at Alabama. Big win for them. Had LSU coming in, they took care of business. They ran LSU out of the gym in the second half. Alabama's a very good offensive team. They scored over 100 points against LSU. I think, like I said, they've scored over 105, maybe 6 times this year. Auburn's more of the 75 to 80-point-a-game type team. Mm-hmm. They rely on their defense. Their defense is still playing well. They held Mississippi State to 64 points on the road. You should win that basketball game.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Okay, your defense did what it needed to do. Got some comments coming in. Luke said, got to hit the threes. I mean, there's no doubt. You take 24 shots, you made 6, which was better than what you did at Alabama. I think Auburn made 5 against Alabama, so they've made 9 threes in the last 2 games, which is not going to cut it. Auburn needs to be around 8 to 9 threes per game, not every 2 games. Steve said AU out-rebounded 30-45 on Saturday, the entire first half. All 5 players stood outside the three-point line with no movement. Looked lethargic. I had several guys texting me during the game saying, look, we're not crashing the boards. I think it was 2-1 in the first half, offensive rebounds for them over us. Second chance points. That's where Mississippi State beat us in the first half.
Right.
Two-man said, great point, Jim. Auburn appeared to have a Bama hangover. Again, you got to shake it off, man. 1 loss now turns into 2, and you're sitting there in second place. You had basically first place locked up by yourself. Now you're a game behind Alabama, sitting up there at the top. And we'll talk about that moving into the next segment. Here in just a minute, we'll talk about results from around the SEC on Saturday and kind of what looks forward. Auburn having some movement on the coaching front, lost a coach this past week. We'll talk about that and how that affects the coaching staff for Hugh Freeze. Got baseball coming up here in a couple of weeks, Jim. Butch
Very
Thompson
exciting.
with a really good baseball team. I think they've got high expectations. Jordan-Hare renovation. We'll talk about that. That has been approved moving forward. That'll be a big deal. A lot to talk about. We'll continue to take your comments and your calls as well when we come back. Stay tuned. Just getting started here on the Auburn Blitz.
Hi, this is Brian Bice with Bice Motors. With our all-star lineup of Dodge trucks, Jeep, SUVs, and Chrysler cars, we offer the area a team dedicated to making your next vehicle purchase a positive experience. Our sales team offers competitive pricing, and we back up all sales with a service department second to none. Bice Motors also offers the area's best selection of pre-owned vehicles. Visit Bice Motors at 2133 Cherokee Road in Alexander City.
Guaranteed lowest price. Buy it at Bice. Bice Motors.
Heritage South Credit Union in Alexander City is your community credit union, and they have been for over 80 years. Heritage South Credit Union proudly serves Tallapoosa, Coosa, Lee, Chambers, Randolph, and Chilton counties. From checking to business accounts, to share savings to club accounts, to their kids club and investments. Visit them online at myhscu.com. Heritage South Credit Union, your community credit union for 80 years. Federally insured by NCUA.
When you need an automotive hero, you got to call S&S Discount Tire Pros. With locations in Alexander City and Dayville, we are here to serve you today. From quick services like oil changes and tire rotations to in-depth automotive repairs such as suspensions, brakes, and tune-ups, S&S can take care of all your tire needs. You just have to focus on what's important and love the drive. Call S&S Discount Tire Pros today. We are automotive heroes, and we are here to serve you.
WOTM is the television provider for all Alabama High School Athletic Association championship events and special programs. WOTM is your home for the Super 7 football, state finals basketball, baseball and softball state championships, the AHSAA weekly show, and WOTM also produced the first ever football playoff show, Super 7 preview show, and reclassification reveal show. Your exclusive home for all things AHSAA is WOTM. Contact your local cable provider to request WOTM to your channel lineup.
Whether it's Lake Martin, Lay Lake, or Logan Martin, boaters from all over the state of Alabama come to Alex City Marine, just off Highway 280 in Alexander City, Alabama, because it's worth the drive. With the best deals on unbeatable Suzuki outboards, Manitou and Landau tri-tunes, and a great pre-owned inventory while they last. Alex City Marine is the pros the locals know. And no matter where you're from, when you're here, you're local to us. Alex City Marine, just off Highway 280 in Alexander City, Alabama. AlexCityMarine.com.
Russell Do-It Center and building supply stores have the tools and materials to get the job done right, whether you're a professional contractor or just a weekend do-it-yourselfer. With everyday customer conveniences like a drive-through lumberyard, price match promise, and our best rewards program, each of our 9 locations offer top brands and building materials like lumber, hardware, tools, paint, lawn and garden, and much more. Visit today and see what Russell Do-It Center and Building Supply can help you build tomorrow.
Let's get serious. Let's get Arctic Air serious. You want your car and truck to live longer, don't you? Well, it's about maintenance. Same thing with Arctic Air. You see the number at the bottom of the screen? Call them right now. Let me tell you something. You want to be comfortable? We all want to be comfortable.
New year, new adventures. Glenn Smith Chevrolet in Opelika is ringing in 2024 with sensational deals. Upgrade your drive with the powerful new Chevrolet Silverado 1500 Crew Cab. Now available with up to $11,500 off. And that's not all. You can purchase your roomy new Chevy Equinox as low as $329 a month. Visit Glenn Smith Chevrolet in Opelika or explore these amazing deals anytime, anywhere, 24/7 on glennsmith.com.
Get ready to smile.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Auburn Blitz here on this Monday. 45 minutes left in today's show, brought to you by Russell Do-It Center, Building Supply Stores, J. Smith Construction and Excavation, and Central Alabama Community College. Some comments coming in. Brian said so many missed layups, could not finish around the basket. Just really all the way around offensively is so frustrating right now. Can't hit threes, can't finish at the basket. A lot of standing around on on defense as far as second chance points for the other team. There's a lot to clean up right now, no doubt. Those are things that are fixable, though, Jim. You fix some of these things, and then you're right back on track. This is a talented team. This is still a tournament team. This is still a team that can contend for the SEC if they can get things turned around. But I will say this, and you try to find a silver lining in everything. The last couple years, Auburn's peaked too soon.
Right.
A couple of years ago, we went on the road, lost to Arkansas about midway through the year. We were number one in the country, and we kind of just tailed off and ended up with an early exit in the NCAA tournament. Last year, I kind of felt the same way. Fought through, won the first game against Iowa, then, of course, ran up on a good Houston team in the second round. But this is a team that if they can learn right now, get through some of this is a tough stretch of the schedule, you could really start seeing an upward climb and maybe getting better and preparing for postseason play. That's the silver lining for me. Again, it's very fixable.
Yeah, and that's what I told Andy, weeks ago in the earlier shows about the game they played against Baylor.
Right.
They're showing sparks that they can be a really good team. But they got to fix what you're talking about, and one way to fix that is just effort. I mean, I just truly believe it looked like to me in the Mississippi State game that they weren't all there. They were just kind of like, we'll show up and we'll win because we win.
All right, so let's talk about some more comments here from Bruce Pearl. He said, we'll see how we bounce back. Both teams are going to the NCAA are going to be NCAA tournament teams. He was talking about Alabama and Mississippi State. He said they're both quad one teams. We've lost to the best teams on our schedule. There's something to be said for beating the people you're supposed to beat, and we've done that. Not many people are going to come in here and beat Mississippi State. We'd like to think we had a shot at it, but we didn't get enough to step up. You have to step up and be able to make plays. And right now, Auburn is just simply not getting any production from the guys they've been relying on. They haven't been getting any production out of Jalen Williams. They haven't gotten any production the last two games out of K.D. Johnson and Aiden Holloway. Trey Donaldson, pretty good game against Alabama, not so good against Mississippi State, only ended up with 6 points. I mean, Chad Baker-Mazara has fallen off tremendously. He only had 3 points. I don't know what's up with Chris Moore. Chris Moore, 4 years at Auburn, number one player in the state of Arkansas when he was recruited, set all types of records at West Memphis High School. He's been there 4 years. He's 22 years old. Jim, he looks worse now than he's ever looked. He's zero production, no points, no rebounds, no assists. I mean, in 11 minutes. I mean, what are you doing?
Yeah.
I mean, you talk about zeros. It reminds me of Zep Jasper last year. You look down and you go, well, we're playing him because of defense. Well, that's great. You've got to be able to produce something offensively. You can't go out there and lay a goose egg on the floor every night that you go out there and say, well, my defense is what's keeping me in the lineup. And also, Dylan Cardwell got in foul trouble. And
so you're looking at 17 minutes of basketball right there where no points were produced.
Yeah, not good. No. Not at all. Janai Broom, again, seemed to be the lone bright spot. And he was 5 of 7. Just, again, we all love Bruce Pearl. I think we're very fortunate to have Bruce Pearl. Hope he's there 15 more years. I think he's brought Auburn to a point we never thought we'd see Auburn basketball. But that doesn't mean he's not beyond criticism. And, look, I think he understands it more than anybody. He doesn't need me to tell him. He needs you to tell him. He doesn't need anybody in the media to tell him that maybe they need to change a few things up. I think he's working on that. I do think, though, he acknowledged, hey, look, me not getting the ball and the sets for Janai Broom more in the last couple of games is on me. He admitted that. He had 25 against Alabama, could have had 35. I don't think Alabama would have stopped him all night if they kept feeding him.
Right.
He was 5 of 7 from the floor. It doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure out when you're not shooting the ball well from outside, you're not getting good guard play, slow the game down, try to get it inside to your 6'10" big man, and see if you can get him to the free throw line. He's been shooting free throws well, too. So things to work on. You got Vanderbilt coming in at 8 o'clock on ESPN2, back in Neville Arena where it's extremely tough for the opponent. Vanderbilt's terrible. Vanderbilt is dead last in the league with Missouri. Vanderbilt's 0-6. They've only won 5 games overall. They did play Tennessee tough this week at home.
Mm-hmm.
Again, you can't rest on anybody. You can't look at their record. If 2 losses can easily turn into 3, Jim. Now, again, being at Neville Arena will help. That will help tremendously. But Auburn really needs a good offensive night. They've got to get some confidence because they got to go on the road Saturday to Ole Miss. And we just took it to Ole Miss and beat them by 30. They've been on a heater since. They want payback. You know, Wes Flanagan, Alan Flanagan, Chris Beard, they want to show everybody. I mean, they're sitting there at 17-3, 4-3 in the league. They look at that as a golden opportunity to get us back at home.
Oh, sure. Yeah, and you go get you a ranked team of Auburn and a quad 1 win. You know, they're looking for the postseason too.
So looking at the standings right now, Alabama 6-1, Tennessee 5-1, South Carolina 5-2, Auburn 5-2, and Kentucky 5-2. That's how the top of the standings sit. And then you got Ole Miss, Florida, and Georgia at 4-3. What a great game that was between Florida and Georgia on Saturday. Florida was up by 20 in the second half. Georgia fights back. They have the ball with 13 seconds to win the game. Turn it over. It goes to overtime. Florida hangs on to win. We'll talk about some results, and then we'll talk about an Auburn coach moving on. I think this is a big hit for Hugh Freeze's staff when we come back, and we'll see what's in store for Hugh Freeze moving forward. Stay tuned. More of the Auburn Blitz right after this.
Lee Apparel is your go-to vendor for screen-printed and embroidered apparel and promotional products. We print and embroider free custom-made graphics or outsourced designs on everything from t-shirts, headwear, corporate wear, team sportswear, high-end safety apparel, and promotional products. At Lee Apparel, you can always expect quick turnaround time, competitive pricing, friendly customer service, and free in-hands delivery on all orders. Visit us at leeapparel.com to get started.
Lake Martin Garage, located on Highway 280 in Jackson's Gap, has been serving our area since 1993. From routine maintenance such as oil changes, tune-ups, and rotating and balancing your tires, to transmission and engine repair, our trained and certified mechanics will get you back on the road better than before. Need a tow? With a 24-hour, 7-day-a-week towing service, Lake Martin Garage has local and long-range pickup. Trust your vehicle needs to the professionals at Lake Martin Garage. Call 256-825-6139, or better yet, stop in and see them today. Lake Martin Garage.
What's the verdict?
Can't fix your heat pump.
Need a new one.
Uh-oh. What are you thinking?
I'm thinking Daikin.
Call on Kevin Kill in Sunshine Heating and Air at 256-825-4849, Central Alabama's premier Daikin dealer.
So what's he thinking?
Oh, he's thinking Daikin.
Daikin, one of the top selling in the world.
Now I'm thinking Daikin.
Daikin. Comfort for life.
Passion, the obsession that burns within. Determination, the burning desire to make it. Drive, the motivation to be the absolute best. Skills, the tools to perform at the highest level. Excellence, the feeling of achievement. At Central Alabama Community College, you can release your passion, show your determination, display your drive, and showcase your skills to achieve excellence. Central Alabama Community College, central to you, central to your success.
There's only one option for top-of-the-line aftermarket upgrades on your vehicle, and that's Frontline Outfitters. We offer quality parts, lift kits, custom wheels and tires, bed covers, step bars, and toolboxes. They're installed by trained and skilled professionals, to custom powder coating with hundreds of colors and finishes, to the highest quality film for window tinting using state-of-the-art film cutting technology. Call Frontline Outfitters at 256-409-8100. Don't be in the back of the line. Put your vehicle at the front with Frontline Outfitters. Grain and Leaf, located at 6068 Highway 63 South, is Lake Martin's premier boutique-style bottle shop with a unique array of sophistication for everyone. Appropriately named for its exclusive selection of top spirits, wine, and craft beer, Grain and Leaf also has a number of fine cigars for you to choose from. They also carry the full line of Hornsby Farms assorted jellies and pottery. Open 10 to 7 Monday through Saturday and noon to 5 on Sundays, Grain and Leaf is your premier shop in the Lake Martin area. Lake Martin Mobile Detailing is the #1 auto and boat detailing company in Central Alabama. Don't trust your boat or vehicle to just anybody. Hire the professionals. Top-of-the-line ceramic coating, detailing, gel coat restoration, and paint correction gives you the options to take care of your vehicle the right way. Located at 702 McCarty Road in Dayville, Lake Martin Mobile Detailing will have you riding in style. Call them today at 256-794-2328 or Superior Automotive and Boat Detailing.
J.A. Smith Construction is your trusted choice for construction site clearing and grading for new home construction, underground utilities and site work, concrete paving, storm drain installation, fish ponds, and slough dredging. No job is too big or too small. Call Alexander at J.A. Smith Construction at 256-896-1400 or email asmith@jasmithconstruct.com. J.A. Smith Construction, your trusted choice for construction.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Auburn Blitz. Halfway through the show, let's go to the phone lines and welcome in Jerry. Jerry, what's up, brother?
Hello, Brett, Jim. How you guys doing today?
Man, we're good, buddy. How are you?
I'm doing great. Thank you so much for taking my call. Think you guys do a great job, and it gives me quite a bit of pleasure and enjoyment to tune into y'all's show daily. But I just got a quick comment.
Yes, sir.
It may sound critical, but it's not intended that way. A couple of weeks ago, a week back, I heard the head coach of the Houston Cougars, Sampson, say that when he went to build his team, recruit players, get guys out of the portal, that he looked for scorers and shooters, and he felt like he could teach them to play defense. And honestly, it looks like our team was, when I watch them play, it looks just kind of the opposite, kind of discombobulated. It seemed like half the time on offense. But I know that sounds critical, but it's not really intended that way. But Big War Eagle, thank you so much for taking my call, guys.
Hey, Jared, thank you, buddy. No, I agree with you. I don't think – I'll repeat what I said in the last segment. Nobody's beyond criticism. It doesn't matter how good you are, or what you've done in the past. Sometimes you can't see the forest for the trees. I think Bruce Pearl is tremendous. I think he's done wonders for this program. And, again, I'll restate, I hope he stays 15 more years. And coaches this basketball team. But right now, offensively, Auburn has struggled the last couple of years. And we're struggling right now coming through the first 6 games of SEC play. He likes small guards. And I don't want him to change his philosophy that makes him feel like he's got to, to fit his, whatever his plan is, he knows what personnel works best in his system.
Yeah.
It's obviously worked in the past with Bryce Brown and Jared Harper and, Sharif Cooper. We've had several great guards that are small, but we see problems out of our guard play a lot of times the last few years when we get in SEC play because of physical.
Now, you think that's what I was about to bring up. Bruce has been in the SEC a long time with other schools. He understands what it takes to win. But those small guards, are they getting pushed around out there?
Well, it's obvious. I mean, you look at Alabama, they pushed our guards way out beyond the three-point line. We couldn't get any separation. I do think it's a problem. I do think it's affecting our offensive sets. Just can't seem to get the offense in the flow. And then when we do get open shots, we're not hitting them. And so I think Jerry makes a good point about shooters. I thought Bruce Pearl went out and got some shooters. We thought Denver Jones, who led Conference USA last year at Florida International in points per game, was going to be a shooter. We thought, Aiden Holloway, a five-star point guard, was going to be able to come in and the way he shot threes, give you 12 to 15 points a night from the point guard position. We thought Chad Baker-Mazara was going to be a 10 to 12 point a night guy. It's just not happening right now. So we got to go back to the drawing board, got to figure it out. Dano said, I know one inbound play under our own basket, one player was sort of moving, the other three were just standing still. I noticed a couple of times on offensive rebounds, the ball was on the floor and we were just looking at it.
All right.
Like,
let's go back to what I said earlier.
Yep.
Effort.
Yeah,
Effort.
I think, and that's where Bruce Pearl's teams really have had the advantage the last several years is we're going to beat you on the 50-50 balls. We haven't been winning those the last couple of weeks. Bubba wanted to know about Andy. We appreciate you asking. Andy's better, feeling better, and hopefully in the next week or two we'll get Andy back with us. But again, making progress. Appreciate all of you out there checking on him and keeping up with that. We talked about the standings. We talked about that. Auburn's got Vanderbilt on Wednesday. We'll talk more about them tomorrow. Let's shift over, Jim, to football. Auburn kind of took a hit this week. Trevon Reed, hired by, guess who? Gus Malzahn at Central Florida as the new cornerbacks coach. This is a step up for Trevon. Trevon was not an on-the-field coach for Auburn, so you can't slight him for taking a promotion or moving up and trying to increase his or improve his career. Oh, yeah. He was, player relations coordinator and director of football player relations coordinator the last couple of years. He's an outstanding recruiter. He's probably one of Auburn's best recruiters. Had that role filled already, that position, and so really no place for him on the staff, on the on-field staff. So he gets a shot to go to Central Florida. Doesn't mean that he doesn't come back to Auburn one day and coach. That doesn't mean that you don't see Cadillac back one day. Doesn't mean that you don't see Zach Etheridge back one day. Just because guys leave doesn't mean they come back. But Trevon Reed, for me, a big blow recruiting, Jim. He was a huge part in this number 7 recruiting class that Auburn got this year.
Oh, sure. I mean, you always want to see a guy better than himself. I don't ever want him to stick around if he's got an opportunity to do better because, like you said, he could step off in a different program, learn a lot, and come back.
Right.
Same way we've had one that left in the offensive line room. Kendall Simmons, was an analyst for a while.
No doubt.
He's went and got Memphis as now new offensive line coach. I couldn't fault him for doing that. But
No.
I sure wanted a 2-time Super Bowl winner to be right there in our house.
Auburn's got a lot of great former players as assistants throughout this league now. I mean, T-Rob was one of the hottest names. He's been at Alabama. Yep. Obviously, he's been at South Carolina with Will Muschamp. Now he's at Georgia. Mm-hmm. Kirby Smart wanted him. Auburn wanted him back home. Dale McGee's been a cog in the wheel for Georgia for a long time. You look at Travis Williams as the defensive coordinator at Arkansas. Mm-hmm. He was at Auburn, spent some time with Gus at Central Florida before getting that job. That's the positive thing for me, Jim, is I look at how great of football players we've had that translate into coaches. Man, they are hot commodities around this conference.
Absolutely.
We can't hire all of them. We can't. I mean, you know, we're sitting here rattling off names. There's probably 10 to 12 really good assistant coaches in this league right now and coordinators that were former Auburn football players.
Oh, absolutely.
And we've got several on the staff right now. We got Marcus Davis back right now with us, and he's the reason one of the biggest reasons we recruited this wide receiver class that's number 2 all time since they've been ranking players. The average star ranking is the number 2 best wide receiver class of all time.
Wow.
Marcus Davis had a lot to do with that. So Auburn still got quality coaches. We come back, defensive coordinator talk, Jordan-Hare renovations, a little bit of baseball too. A little baseball ready for it, man.
Time to whack the white ball around.
There's no doubt about it. It's going to be a lot of fun, I think. Again, have a team that can compete and possibly challenge to get back to Omaha for Butch Thompson. Up against another break. Stay tuned. More of the Auburn Blitz right after this.
.6% of nurses say they went into the profession because they wanted to help patients. No matter the reason you decided to become a nurse, you have all the tools needed to advance your degree at Jacksonville State University. Our Master's in Nursing program is now offered fully online and can be completed in less than 2 years. You can customize a flexible course schedule so you can receive your advanced education degree all while working on the front line. JSU Nursing, your opportunity to advance your career and serve your community.
Egg rolls are back at Zaxby's. They're hand-rolled and come with a delicious sweet and spicy dipping sauce. But enough from me. Let the egg rolls do the talking. And there you have it. 2 for $3 egg rolls. Woo, saucy! Zaxby's.
At C&T Electric, our clients are our priority. For the safety and security of your family and home, our technicians are professionally trained, drug-tested, background checked, and wear uniforms with name tags. We're proud to have served the Elk City, Dadeville, and Lake Martin areas for the past 10 years. Give us a call at 256-234-0007 for all your electrical service and repair needs, or visit us on the web at www.cntelectricllc.com and spell out the word "and."
WOTM is the television provider for all Alabama High School Athletic Association championship events and special programs. WOTM is your home for the Super 7 football, state finals basketball, baseball and softball state championships, the AHSAA weekly show, and WOTM also produced the first ever football playoff show, Super 7 preview show, and reclassification reveal show. Your exclusive home for all things AHSAA is WOTM. Contact your local cable provider to request WOTM to your channel lineup.
Russell Do-It Center and building supply stores have the tools and materials to get the job done right, whether you're a professional contractor or just a weekend do-it-yourselfer. With everyday customer conveniences like a drive-through lumberyard, price match promise, and our best rewards program, each of our 9 locations offer top brands and building materials like lumber, hardware, tools, paint, lawn and garden, and much more. Visit today and see what Russell Do-It Center and Building Supply can help you build tomorrow.
Bucks Island is your boating headquarters. Are you ready to hit the water and go boating this summer? Bucks Island has all kinds of boats, with one sure to fit exactly what you want. Fishing boats, sport boats, pontoon boats, and all with low monthly payments. Call 1-800-I'm-READY. Bucks Island Service Department experts are also here for you to keep your boat in top running condition. Call 1-800-I'm-READY. Don't be left standing on the bank this summer. Visit online at bucksisland.com and don't buy a boat till you get a Bucks quote.
Fried chicken, and wontons, and teriyaki glaze, and an egg roll. Some people think the Zaxby's Sensation salad is too delicious to be a salad. Yep, that's why we call it a salad. The Zaxby's Sensation salad. Zaxby's.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Auburn Blitz. Couple segments left in today's show, brought to you by Russell Do-It Center and Building Supply Stores with 9 locations throughout Central Alabama for all your home improvement needs, building supplies, home decor. You can order it online. They can ship it to you, certain things. So make sure you go and check out one of the great locations in your area. J.A. Smith Construction and Excavation, Alexander Smith and James Ham, running a unbelievable business. No job too big or too small for them right now. If you go up and down 280, you see their trucks everywhere. Commercial projects all the way down to residential. No job too big or too small. Check them out. Call on them for your next project. Central Alabama Community College with 4 great locations here in Central Alabama for all your educational needs, post-secondary educational needs, whether you're going to school for a 2-year degree to go to work, or if you're going to transfer to a 4-year college, Central Alabama Community College is the place for you. Auburn drops to 16 in both polls, both the AP and the coaches poll. Alabama creeps in now at 24 in the AP poll, up to 22 in the coaches poll. In the AP poll right now, Tennessee is number 5. Kentucky drops down to number 10 after their loss. So you look at Auburn still the 3rd highest ranked team in the SEC. Didn't drop that much in the net rankings, in the Ken Palm rankings, which really kind of determines where you go as far as NCAA. Jim, you were talking to me off the air. You feel like Auburn can still garner a 4, maybe a 5 seed if everything kind of goes the right way. Auburn was a 9 seed last year, and they upset Iowa, but then you have to turn around and play a 1 seed. So you get that 8-9 seed, right, you're more than likely going to play a 1 seed in round 2.
Yeah, I think you really want to shoot for that 4, 5, 6 to make sure that you got a chance in that second round.
Right. Wayne said, yeah, Auburn dropped 8 spots, number 16. That's what we're just talking about there. Appreciate that comment. But, not terrible. You got Vanderbilt. Auburn's got a stretch here. You got Vanderbilt, should take care of business. Then you got to go to Ole Miss Saturday. It's going to be a challenge.
Right.
Get back on the road.
That's a ranked Ole Miss, right?
Absolutely, it's a ranked Ole Miss.
You got an upcoming ranked Ole Miss and upcoming ranked Alabama.
That's exactly right.
You can get right back on
board.
You can
erase this past week by winning those 2 games if you take care of business, right, with Vanderbilt coming in. So, look, Coach Hines was on Thursday. He said it. Basketball's a marathon. It's not a sprint.
That's right.
It's not about what you do on one given night. It's about the body of work. It's going to take, I think, 14-ish wins in conference play to win the league, the regular season.
Mm-hmm.
Can Auburn get there? I'm going to say they're an 11 or 12 win team.
I was going to pull out 12, I was thinking.
Tennessee looks really good right now, man.
Right.
I mean, to me, Tennessee, they just put it on Alabama this past weekend or a weekend ago in Knoxville before we played them on Wednesday night. Dalton Connect seems to be the best player in the league right now.
Mm-hmm.
I do like Alabama at home against anybody. I like Auburn at home against anybody. We got Kentucky coming in on February 17th. That's the first weekend of Auburn baseball at home.
Mm-hmm.
So I think Auburn will have a tremendous shot to knock off Kentucky. Kentucky doesn't look strong, at times on the road. Struggled a little bit at Arkansas, kind of got it going right there at the end. But, they're very vulnerable on the road. They're a lot tougher, obviously, at home at Rupp, just like we are. But, South Carolina is a surprise team. They look pretty strong right now, but South Carolina just stuck it to Kentucky. So I think those are winnable games at home. Tennessee, to me, right now seems to be the number 1 team in the league, and I think Kentucky, Auburn, and Alabama are all there battling for second. Maybe South Carolina. I didn't think I'd be saying that, but pretty doggone good team. John said, how many regular season games are left? Well, SEC games, you got some out of – I think you still have 1 out-of-conference game maybe sandwiched in there for Auburn. I need to pull the schedule up. But you're a third of the way through. You play 18 SEC games, so most everybody's got 12 remaining. Roger said it looks like whoever can win the most games and still a few on the road. And that's generally the recipe every year, Roger. Got to hold serve at home. And you got to go get a few on the road. And you get 9 home games, you get 9 road games. If you can win eight of your home games and go get 4 on the road, you're at 12.
Right.
And then you're right there knocking on the door. So, yeah, if you win all 9 and go get 4, now, you're at 13. So it's hard to be perfect anywhere, but Auburn's been about as close to perfect the last 3 years at home as anybody. So, but Alabama, I don't see a lot of teams coming into Coleman Coliseum beating them. I don't see a lot of teams obviously going in to Thompson Bowling Arena and beating Tennessee. I don't see a lot of teams going into Rupp beating them. And obviously South Carolina has jockeyed their way up to the top, and they just laid it on Kentucky this week. So they're tough. I think what we're trying to say is when you go on the road, you got to play your A game.
No, absolutely.
It doesn't matter who you're playing. It doesn't matter if it's Missouri or Vanderbilt, who hasn't won a game, or if you're playing one of the top teams in the league. But this league as a whole, 4 or 5 teams at the top. I think you're looking at the possibility of 7 to 8 teams making it into March Madness from the SEC.
7, I think, yeah.
So solid deal there. Going to flip back over real quick and talk a little football. Auburn's Board of Trustees will vote this Friday to approve renovations to Jordan-Hare Stadium, the north end zone, with a new modern video board to improve the fan experience according to the agenda for the meeting. They want to expedite the design process, just trying to upgrade some things. John Cohen said, we've had a lot of discussions about this. We're working hard behind the scenes to create a new plan. When does it happen? How long does it take once you start? We're putting all that together right now. These things don't happen overnight. We've got to address some things in the north end zone, and I'm very excited to have the opportunity to do that. In 2017, Auburn approved that $6.3 million video board on the north end zone, which is the lowest of the 4 sides of the stadium and sits opposite of the recently expanded south end zone. So that kind of got axed because COVID hit in 2020. But looks like the new plan for the renovation on the table for this upcoming Friday, Jim. It's needed, man.
Oh, yeah. Well, and that, what we were talking about right before we went to break, baseball. They got so many new renovations to their stadium. It's going to be amazing to enjoy a baseball game this year.
Well, we're going to talk a little bit about baseball.
38 feet from behind the plate that people can sit there and watch. The best in the country get a baseball.
Better bring him in. You might get you might get called out of the stands to catch.
Right.
I mean, you're so close to the plate. But yeah, major renovations at Plainsman Park. Going to be some renovations. It seems like going to be approved on Friday for Jordan-Hare. Hey, it's an arms race out there. Money flowing everywhere. NIL, collective, got to get the players, but you got to keep your facilities up too, no doubt about it. Up against the final break of the show, one final segment coming up right after this.
When drinking, take a sober ride home, not someone's life. Alabama has a code of the road, and knowing it helps you follow it. This is a message from your Alabama Department of Transportation.
J.A. Smith Construction is your trusted choice for construction site clearing and grading for new home construction, underground utilities and site work, concrete paving, storm drain installation, fish ponds, and slough dredging. No job is too big or too small. Call Alexander at J.A. Smith Construction at 256-896-1400 or email asmith@jasmithconstruct.com. J.A. Smith Construction, your trusted choice for construction.
SignSource is your local vendor for commercial and residential sign manufacturing and installation. We offer all kinds of lighted and non-lighted signage, from retail signs, LED message centers, event banners, vehicle wraps, the whole spectrum. We also offer service and repair on existing signs, as well as retrofitting to LED or installation of outsourced signage. We have the knowledge necessary to fulfill all of your signage needs in the short or long term. Visit signsourcenow.com to get started.
EnviroCare is the standard in East Central Alabama for all your pest control and termite needs. EnviroCare exclusively offers Centricon termite colony elimination system that is the industry's most effective termite control to protect your home year-round. The EnviroCare team's service is also the standard for our customers. From eliminating home pests to superior termite control, nobody cares like EnviroCare. Serving Lake Martin and East Central Alabama.
Chick-fil-A is always the best option when you're on the go, but they are also great when it comes to planning your next event, from tailgating to birthday parties to weddings. Call Chick-fil-A Alexander City at 256-289-7955 for catering or order on the Chick-fil-A app. Make sure to choose the Alexander City location and have your catering order ready to go. Nugget trays, mac and cheese trays, fruit trays, cookie trays, gallons of our famous lemonade or tea, and chilled grilled chicken sub sandwiches, and a lot more options. Make it Chick-fil-A Alexander City for your next event.
Folks around these parts have known for a long time that Walls Tire, just a mile past the bridge on Highway 280, is your #1 stop for automotive service and repair. At Walls Tire, you'll always find quality service at a fair price on everything from AC, name brand tires, big or small repairs, routine maintenance, towing, and more. When your car or truck needs to run right, there's one place in the area to go, conveniently located and easy to find. Walls Tire, just a mile past the bridge on Highway 280.
Passion, the obsession that burns within. Determination, the burning desire to make it. Drive, the motivation to be the absolute best. Skills, the tools to perform at the highest level. Excellence, the feeling of achievement. At Central Alabama Community College, you can release your passion, show your determination, display your drive, and showcase your skills to achieve excellence. Central Alabama Community College, central to you, central to your success.
Catch a ride, not a buzz.
Hey, can you come get me?
Being buzzed still counts. Alabama has a code of the road, and knowing it helps you follow it. This is a message from your Alabama Department of Transportation.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Auburn Blitz final segment here on the show. Still have time to get a call in if you'd like, 256-234-6221. Some comments, too, if you want to continue to throw those out there. We've had a lot of comments today. Auburn baseball, Jim, just a kind of quick hitter. You know, Auburn returns some really, really good players on this team.
Great pieces.
You know, usually when a guy of Joseph Gonzalez's caliber is injured, it's a blow to your team that year, and it was last year. Auburn still was successful, able to fight through it. But, man, you know what the benefit of somebody getting injured and ending their season last year? You get them back. This coming year, he decided he needed to come back to Auburn and showcase what everybody thought he was going to be last year. Shoulder surgery ended his season last year, threw a few innings, but really looks to be back to 100%. Butch Thompson really excited. He's a true #1 starter in league
he's
play.
A Friday night guy for sure.
And, you know, exciting to have Joseph Gonzalez back. You
got Alstrip. Back in.
Yeah.
I think they got in that pitching staff. I think I saw the statistic the other day. Over 80% of their innings from last year are back. That is
huge.
Unbelievable to have that.
Herbal Holtz is back. Alsop's back. Will Cannon, John Armstrong, Tanner Ballman.
You've got Gonzalez and Alstrup that could be Friday, Saturday right there.
Correct.
You get one of these other guys to fill in for a Sunday. You got somewhere around 20, 21 pitchers on the staff there. You got two great setup guys. I mean, as long as they don't – that's what happened to them last year. They sustained that Gonzalez injury so early.
Right.
It did give them a chance to get over the hump, but it still happened.
And Auburn finished so strong last year. I think they were 12-3.
Right.
Coming down the stretch, which is unbelievable in this league.
Right.
Now, I don't have the schedule directly in front of me, but they open up with Vanderbilt and Arkansas. So you've got a good team, but, again, this is a meat grinder. I mean, we talk about in football and basketball the SEC being good. It is ridiculous how good this conference is in baseball.
You already know going into it, you're not going to win all your conference games. What you do is when you get out of these 2 out of 3 series, you win the 2 and be glad you got 2 out of 3.
And, it goes back to the road again. If you can steal one on the road, just don't get swept.
Right.
The magic formula here is you got to beat the teams you're supposed to beat. You got to win 2 out of 3.
Yep.
And if you go on the road against a Vanderbilt or an Arkansas or, a Tennessee or South Carolina or, heck, I can just keep naming them all.
Yeah.
If you go on the road against Florida, you got to get one.
Right.
Sweeps are devastating in this league. So you try to stay away from getting the broom out. Auburn's got some big bats back. Bobby Pierce, believe it or not, is back.
Yeah.
You got Ike Irish back.
First base, McMurray.
McMurray's back. Cooper McMurray.
You just named 3 guys that are double-digit home runs.
And Ike Irish could be the best player in the league.
All-American. He's probably going to start at catcher.
Oh, yeah. They're battling out. You're going to lose the guy from last year. Name escapes me right now. But you're going to lose him. So you got 3 guys battling it out to replace Nate LaRue.
Catcher.
You're trying to find somebody that's going to be behind the plate. Could be a fan. As close as they're going to be with a new renovated park there. But, again, I think that's huge. You're going to come to Plainsman Park. You're going to see a new environment. You're going to see a lot of different things, fan-enhanced experiences.
Yeah, imagine sitting on top of the green wall.
It's going to be awesome.
Is that?
It's going to be awesome.
They even elevated the student section out there, so they're not sitting behind a fence now.
That's right. They're going to be sitting up. It's just going to be a whole different look.
I love it.
And I do, too. And I think it's going to be, again, a tough place to play. And it's always a tough place to play. But when Plainsman Park was built in the mid-'90s, or when it became what it is now, it was cutting edge. It was one of the best in the country. And it's still a great park. But over time, you saw other schools in the conference and other places build extravagant parks. Look at Duty Noble Field in Mississippi State.
Oh, yeah.
Just the benchmark for what stadiums are. And then Ole Miss renovated, and you see what Texas A&M did at Bluebell Park out there.
And I think I heard Butch made the statement. It shows the renovations we're making.
Right.
As soon as tickets are going on sale, they're buying every one of them.
It's going to be a fun year, no doubt about it. And, again, very tough schedule, but it is every year. And, Butch seems to get this team playing the best baseball at the right time. Again, they finished the regular season 12-3 last year coming down the stretch. That's dang near impossible in this league.
Right.
And, again, not to play the violin. Nobody cares, about your woes. But, Auburn and Alabama are at a disadvantage in recruiting in this state just by what Georgia and Florida and in Louisiana and Tennessee and Mississippi have at their disposal with being able to utilize alternate things and funding to be able to bring more players in.
Oh, sure.
The state of Alabama doesn't have those.
He's got to be in the running for a national coach every year because he does more with less than everybody else.
Right. So feel good about it. With where Auburn is athletically. Look at we've got to say this about our women's team. Going for three SEC wins in a row here tonight. They welcomed Georgia in, had 2 really, really big wins. That one a couple of weeks ago against LSU.
Who was, and her name escapes me, but who was the 24 that just got retired? The jersey got retired for the women's team.
Yeah, we talked about her last week.
Amazing.
Yeah, again, was it Bonner?
That's right.
Yeah,
I think that's right. Debian?
No, I can't remember, but I think it's Bonner that got retired.
Yeah.
I don't have it in front of me, but look, I think they're doing Coach Harris is doing a great job and getting this Auburn women's team back to very competitive. She inherited a mess, and she's getting it back to prominence. Auburn has had a history in the past of being really good in women's basketball. They'll go for another big win tonight at home against Georgia. The Senior Bowl's back. Be plenty of Auburn players in the Senior Bowl coming up here soon. So, yes, DeWanna Bonner. So we were both right
Close.
there. I got the last name, and you were halfway on the first name. Jalen Simpson. Mock drafts show him projected anywhere between the 2nd in fourth round. DJ James, anywhere between 2 and 5. Nehemiah Pritchett, 3 to 5. And defensive lineman Marcus Harris, anywhere from 5 to 7. So
I can see that.
That game will be this coming up Saturday at noon on the NFL Network. So if you got the NFL Network, you can tune that in. So
all you Swifties out there.
Oh, God. We didn't even have a chance to talk about the AFC and NFC championship games. We'll talk about that a little bit more tomorrow. But been a fun show. Appreciate all of you with your comments and your calls. We'll be back with you same time, same place tomorrow. For Jim, I'm Brett saying we've enjoyed it. We'll help you out. See you tomorrow.